Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. This is the first PureFiller Google Hangout video thing, so it'll hopefully work out. I'm Scott Meany from PureFiller, and with me is Mel from Sidecast.
That's me, Mel from Sidecast.
So I hear they're making a Jem and The Holograms movie.
Yeah, that's what I hear as well. I was a little surprised on that. In case you've missed it, apparently Facebook has trends now.
I did notice that. That's actually how I get half of my news that I just cheat onto PureFiller. So
you know what I'm saying.
Secret.
Yes, of course. So on my Facebook trends that are brand new, I noticed that and had to put that on my timeline because, let's face it, a lot of girls I know were the right age for that show and watched it. So
I never really had that much exposure to it. Like, I knew it existed, but there was like a whole pantheon of like cartoons that I was not super into back then. Obviously, Jem would not have been one I would have watched because it was for ladies. But like, I didn't really give that much of a crap about G.I. Joe or I guess what was the Jem equivalent. I mean, it's basically Ninja Turtles, but I feel like it predated Ninja Turtles by a few years.
You said Ninja Turtles, and I was like, oh, I'm so glad he included Ninja Turtles because you got the adventure show portion of the show, which was actually draw qualities for me because I was not super into most girl cartoons. The majority of my guys watched GoBots, I watched Transformers, I watched the occasional G.I. Joe. A lot of that was Saturday morning, and unfortunately, I was a child athlete, so I spent quite a good deal on a sports field when I could have been doing better things like playing video games and watching cartoons. So
just out of curiosity, what the hell were the other girl cartoons? Because to my knowledge, Jem seemed like this one stab in the dark they attempted to do, and then they just went, nah, fuck it. Never mind.
Let's see. Okay, so
My Little Pony, the original.
There was
one.
My Little Pony, the original, not this new crazy thing that I have no idea what the fascination is. And there was, I believe there was a Barbie show for a short-lived time because they were trying so desperately hard, but Jem was the only one that won it. Now I'm trying to think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, why I liked that one and watched that a lot. You had April, so at least there was that representative in the thing, and so there was, that was a good one. Rainbow Bright had a cartoon.
Now, were these girl cartoons or just kid cartoons? Because I was hesitant to put in, like, My Little Pony and then Rainbow Bright because I felt like those were like David the Gnome level children's shows and not necessarily for girls.
I would say that those were the girl, and God, it was so hard for me because I just watched whatever the hell I wanted to, but I'm trying to think of like what my girlfriends would have watched at the time, and those were the things. You had silly stuff for girls, like the Hannah Montana stuff that you were referring to would be something like, I thought of this show the other day for the first time in a million years, Kids Incorporated, for example.
Oh, God.
Yeah, there. Was that like, holy hell, you just like crushed my brain stuff?
Listen, if there's one thing I'm about, it's enforcing gender stereotypes. That's always been my number one issue. So, like, you were not allowed to watch these shows because they were boy shows and boys go to war. And that's what they do. They go to war and then you, of course, cook dinner. And that's the way America is created, and that's how we've become this one great nation that we see before. I'm just telling you, that's how it works out.
I see what you're saying, except they threw in Lady J, and they threw in Scarlet, and you had your occasional lady representative in these things, and, for me, that was pretty solid. Love the Lady J, right? She's awesome.
G.I. Joe! So anyway, Jem. So, saying that, I had very little exposure to Jem, and I definitely, it popped on Netflix, and my wife saw it there, like, all right, let's watch Jem, because I just finished rewatching Street Sharks, and that turned out to be made of magic. So I was completely on board. If you have not
rewatched, I love Street Sharks. Jabberjaw was my original shark.
I forget who I liked because the entire show is madness. And like we were just talking about this on the other podcast the other day, and basically the amount of police they kill. Like, you know how the Ninja Turtles are a menace? But
Yeah.
the city generally doesn't like the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
But in Street Sharks, they actually are the men. Like the Ninja Turtles don't really do anything. They beat up robots and stop world destroying attacks all the time. They're very helpful.
Yeah.
The Street Sharks kill the police.
Fair enough.
They dive in the street, they ride under cop cars, and the cop cars flip over in ways that must have killed all occupants. And they do that through entire cavalcades of police. So it's fantastic. I highly recommend cop murdering non-heroes, the Street Sharks, who are the worst villains in their own cartoon. Where was I?
No, that honestly, that started to make sense to me. Now I think I know where Zack Snyder got his inspiration for Man of Steel.
Maybe, because the amount of city destroying is equal to Superman's level of city destroying.
Yeah, no, you're opening my eyes to a whole new level of Street Sharks. But yes, Jem. So
I finally watched Jem, and it was cool and all, whatever. It was super 80s, apocalyptically so.
Oh yeah.
But here's what my impression of it was. It was Ninja Turtle for girls, Ninja Turtles for girls, because you could pick one of each that was your personality type that would fit along with you. It was The Facts of Life, because they all appeared to live in this weird halfway house where they had wayward children, and there was a George Clooney-esque handyman that wandered around, and one of them appeared to be dating him. And I want to say Hannah Montana because of the secret rock star thing.
Okay,
also, it was the beginning of hating the record companies, I guess, as a pop culture thing.
I guess. I don't know if that was something new to Jem. I want to say some of the late Seattle artists in the 70s sort of made issue with. I mean, even Jimi Hendrix was making issue with record labels at some points. So.
Fair.
I mean, not as pop. When you're talking pop culturally, yes, the 80s was definitely the time. But damn the man sort of mentality started in the 80s more than ever because of the nature of the greedy 80s that were. So.
Is Jem an allegory for Jimmy Iovine's rise to success in Interscope Records and the reason why the East Coast West Coast rapper war began? In fact, is Jem the reason Tupac Shakur was assassinated in the street? Go.
Wow, that's zeitgeisty. I don't know if I can counter that right now. That is actually, that requires heavy Wikipedia looking through. I need external links like you wouldn't believe to actually answer that. At least we'll know where that started if that does turn out to become a major thing. Because, wow, there's a whole documentary in that.
I think so. I think I'm going to start it first off with my scientific paper, and then we'll move on from there to the documentary. So hit me, what... Sell me on Jem. What was Jem?
Well, the reason I liked Jem, and actually the sad materialistic frontal reason that I liked Jem was that was the first cartoon I can remember where they changed clothes. Because of the nature of, anime and such. It wasn't they could change everybody's outfit every week, but that became a big thing. The clothes were actually a major part of her whole thing. The idea was that the big computer Synergy projected her as different things all along, and so they could change clothes. And I just thought that was the greatest thing in the world, to see not only the personalities, but I can be Aja acting like a poor girl, a rich girl, a rock star. She, any of the number of the gals in the band. Also, the adventure aspect was big for me, because you didn't get very many girl adventure shows at that point, unless they were in with a whole bunch of guys. This was the boyfriend, Jem's boyfriend, well, not Jem's, excuse me, her Bruce Wayne ego, her Jerrica, her boyfriend was the purple-haired Rio. And, yes.
Also worth stopping on for a second that, her name was Jerrica.
Jerrica.
Which I'm stunned is not a name that since this happened we've seen a lot of. But maybe that's past the 80s when people started taking pop culture idiot names and then giving them to actual children that exist. So maybe after the movie comes out we'll start seeing a bunch more Jerricas.
Jerricas, they'll bring it back. Oh, dear God. Having had a history of working in childcare where you get 36 Aidens, 2 Jadens, 30 Maddies, and a Sam... yeah, I hope that doesn't start happening.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. Sure
But,
it will.
people are easily swayed. I mean, I would name my future child that I won't have hashtag.
Great. Yeah, that's the way to go. Khaleesi is now like
Uh-huh.
a common name, which is wrong on multiple levels there, but
yes, but yes,
yeah.
Jerica. Jerica had quite the fortune, which was also something fairly unheard of at the time, that she was, independently crazily wealthy, and so they did travel the world changing people's lives and or taking in children, women, whatever, with varying things. One of the ones I significantly remember is they had this whole thing where they were looking for new talent and changing things out because the drummer Shayna was leaving the band and they needed to find a new drummer, but inevitably found like 3 or 4 girls with great talent that they helped to place. And I mean, that's not the worst message to send.
I feel like this was the era of, like, you actually could have wealthy heroes. Like, this must have been when Silver Spoons was on TV.
Oh,
and
Silver Spoons.
What's the other one? Richie Rich, I guess, was before that, but
yeah,
I feel like at this point in time everybody was adding the new adventures of to old cartoons and then trying to pretend like they'd made a new thing. So maybe the new adventures of Richie Rich had come on at that time. It's enough.
Richie Rich was a weird one, though, because I feel like Richie Rich was almost like, hey, kids, look at this cute boy who does great things with his money. His big house and all of his wealth is okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there was I'm not going to say that Richie Rich was like but, trying, if we're going to talk about trying to indoctrinate children with a certain message, maybe it was that Richie Rich is an okay guy.
He does well. He gentrifies everywhere he goes, but it's not a problem.
No, of course not. Look at him. He's nice. And he has a puppy.
Good enough that he named Dollar.
Yeah, plus alliteration for a name. I mean, come on.
Well, it wasn't until I started playing the DuckTales video game that I realized, wow, Uncle Scrooge was like a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
There's really nothing about that. What a terrible message.
It's true. But Planet Gold was worse, so...
It should say something that we lived in an era where the character that had previously just been the evil Scrooge from the Disney version of A Christmas Carol turned out to be like, oh, no, he's the hero.
Yeah.
How is he the hero? Oh, because he's obsessed with money. That's not really okay, I guess.
No, you're right. I mean, he does. I mean, let's face it, there's even a section of that in the reboot where you can just go swimming in your money bin.
Which is the best part, though.
Well, definitely. I wasn't saying it was a bad thing. I mean, how often am I going to get to swim in a money bin?
When I had that, I almost wept when I saw that he was like, what can you, oh my God! This is finally happening to me!
Yes, absolutely.
This is all I wanted. This is all I ever wanted.
This and for Mrs. Beakley to find me in some subterranean, cave and feed me just cakes and pie, so...
Brought some cakes. I'm in the middle of a mummy's tomb. Whatever.
Yes. Hey.
Whatever.
I mean, she's Mrs. Beakley.
You're probably going to say something nice to me right now, right, Scrooge? No, some generic comment about you being useless.
Yeah. Where
wow,
you been?
Scrooge.
Bitch, where you been?
Scrooge really is a piece of shit.
Yeah, but, DuckTales. Woo.
So, DuckTales. Back to Jem, because I am terrible at keeping anything organized. So we're just going to have to keep going. Back to Jem. What the hell is it? So are you excited for it, or no?
I am on the fence about this. There is a possibility that this could be really fun. I think I compared it recently, when they did the Josie and the Pussycats movie.
Which is all I thought when they announced this, but go on.
Well, for what that was and based on what it was based on, I mean, Josie and the Pussycats, let's face it, it wasn't Jem. It was Josie and the Pussycats. Now, there was some adventure and there were many things, but overall, I think, Jem took it to a little bit newer level. I'm not going to, but it was a big deal. I mean, Jem affected many people. I have more than a few men that I've spoken with who are like, I watched Jem. It was cool.
I never watched it because I think the social shame.
Well, of course, but...
Of course, now I've gone back and seen a few, and it is nuclear 80s, at a level where few things are. It is powerfully 80s, but nothing else is really that 80s.
Oh, no. And it embraces it with open arms.
literally like sparkles as she does anything. Like it's really everything she does looks like a Trapper Keeper cover. Looks like a Lisa Frank cover. There we go, Lisa Frank reference.
Wow, we are totally 80s as well.
We are very aged.
I'll be interested to see a few things. Who's going to direct it? Are they going to do something like Josie and the Pussycats, or are they going to go the Starsky and Hutch route, which I just thought was a disaster because that took a semi-drama show and turned it into that hot mess. And, I didn't mind Josie and the Pussycats because they didn't try to be something they weren't. It had not a solid plot, but it hit all the beats that you're supposed to hit in a movie like that. I think you could do something cool with Jem. I don't know that they will do something cool with Jem. I can't decide if this is going to be aimed at getting a new generation of Jem people or trying to get me to a theater to see a Jem movie.
I kind of feel like this is trying to get you to a theater to see a Jem movie.
It's not as if there's an overwhelming number of people jumping at the idea of casting a movie with 4 female leads, let alone 1.
But I would say that the Josie and the Pussycats movie, say what you will about it, like, no matter what they did with that movie, that was an improvement on the actual Josie and the Pussycats, which was a 3rd-tier level, one of those shows that was basically just a redo of Scooby-Doo.
Oh, definitely.
Except with a thing. Like Hanna-Barbera, and let's also be honest, until the new Scooby-Doo that they just made like a year ago, Scooby-Doo has always sucked. But Scooby-Doo was the high winner of all of those Hanna-Barbera teens on a mystery thing.
Oh, by far. Scooby-Doo was... I can't, even when I watch reruns of Scooby-Doo, I'm like, God, I've seen all of these so many times, and I still remember. It's amazing. And, you have the Daphne girl and the Velma girl. I literally went as... Scooby-Doo gang. We went as the Scooby Gang for Halloween not too many years ago. That is floating around on some of my social medias. I was, of course, short. I was the short girl. Had to go the Velma. Was okay with that though. She was smart.
That's okay. They've retconned Velma as not being the homely one of the group in recent years.
Oh,
I think since that movie, they've stopped having Velma be like, and Velma, she looks like a bag of shit. Like, oh great. Shaggy is on drugs and Velma is ugly.
Ugly.
Oh. But I think ever since the movie, I don't think Velma has been ugly anymore. I think they've been trying to be like, no, she has glasses. It's different.
I tried to think of Velma in my own heart as sort of the classic geek girl who, if she took off her glasses and brushed her hair and wore a normal dress, she would have been cute underneath. So
which is where the movie anyway.
Personal, my own personal.
Dude, 60s Velma was not attractive when she took those glasses off. 60s Velma, was not an attractive character under any circumstances.
No, that was like, oh, jinkies.
Yeah.
So.
Hi, guys. Oh, God, Velma, hi. Yeah, what's up, man?
Whoa, lady. Get back in the van.
Boy, you're smart for a broad, Velma. What?
Yes. This has turned into the quick hit of Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Quick hits, here's everything we've ever seen Hanna-Barbera related. Go! But
how do you turn a Hanna-Barbera cartoon into a movie is the giant question, so that is the remains to be seen thing. I hope they do a good job with it, but if they're going to... I don't know. If they're going to go the sort of Footloose route, the remake of the Footloose movie route, you're not getting me in a theater, probably.
I bet you're going to see this in the theater. There's not a doubt in my mind. You may not like it, but you're going to see this. You're in.
We'll see. I mean, it's hard to say no, considering the enormity of, as I think I was mentioning to you, my collection of Jem. Probably I had all the dolls. I had Rio. I had the stage you could set them up on that had a built-in cassette player that you could play Jem cassettes on.
You're going to be there for this. You're out. Go on.
I'm not going to cosplay, but I will go, probably.
Fair. This is like whenever anyone's like, I'm not going to see this Ninja Turtles movie. Fuck them. Like, yeah? Is that a fact, huh?
Ooh,
I bet you'll be there.
Yeah, that one's a tough one.
Be there.
It's hard. I But that one I'm on the fence about still because I don't know. We'll see.
Well, as we've already established, that's a show for boys, so you were not allowed to see it. So that's.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
So it's okay. So I imagine, and you've seen reruns now in this dark future we live in, where we've allowed such thing. But as you know, you have no opinion on this matter.
Oh no, I know. I'm quite well versed in my proper position in this life.
Perfect.
That's why I'm here.
Besides, the Ninja Turtles thing will be a whole other thing for another time. We should totally get into that later.
No, that's a not quick hit at all.
No. So, all right. So, Jem, I think I get the idea. I think I'm still exactly in the same place of, I don't know. I'm interested to see where this might go.
Definitely.
All right. Good for a quick hit?
I'm good. Are you good?
I think so. Let's try this. Thank you, everyone that's watching. You can find more from me at PureFiller.com. And Mel, where can they find you?
Well, I'm at Sidecast Show on Twitter, but I'm also at Mel Gray 8 on my personal, so you're welcome to follow me there. Or, yeah, also on thesquarepop.com, doing a little writing over there as well. So, any of those places will link you to anything else of mine you might need.
Solid. All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. End communication.